So why this subject is there for you, that we need to find out. Before that, why, where, when, instead of all those questions, let's see what is there in your syllabus. So whenever we go to any subject, first important thing is we need to know what is the syllabus, right? So we have to, our course code is FE140. Okay, we have instruction scheme as lecture 3 week per week, 3 lecture per week. So we'll be having 25 internal assessment, that is we say sessional. Term work will be 0 marks, so there is no term work for this subject. Then theory will be of 100 marks. Now once you what you can say, go through this subject, what you will learn, so that is course outcome. This is like a one course name is basics of mechanical engineering. And the student will able to, what you will be able to do after learning this. So first is understand the concept of equilibrium, that you will do. Then section properties, friction, motion characteristic for a given system of forces. That will be the CO first. Then in second module or second course outcome, what you are going to understand is basic concept of thermodynamics, manufacturing process, machine tools, and transmission system. So this will be basically, if you consider, this will be totally in third and fourth module. Then in again third course outcome, we are going to learn calculate the resultant forces. This means moment, section properties, and motion characters. So that again it will come in second module. And last is apply the concept of heat and work interaction, that we are going to study in third. So before starting of the lecture, I want to introduce myself. Okay, so my name is Prasad Pawar. I'll be your guide, your teacher, your friend, you can say, for the subject of basics of mechanical engineering. So I have completed B from Mumbai University, and MTech from Kerala, Government College Kerala, you can see. Okay, so my master's is in thermal engineering. Okay, so that is all about me. Now let's go to the, so this is what you will understand after completion of your course outcome. Then what we are going to learn. So in unit 1, basically we are going to study concept of rigid body, laws of motion, force system, principle of transmissibility of forces, concurrent and non-concurrent forces, composition and resolution of forces, then moment of force, principle of moments, resultant of forces, equilibrium of forces, then Lame's theorem, free body diagram, application of free body diagram and its application, types of beams, determinate and indeterminate beams, types of loads, what are the different types of loads. Then in first module only, friction will come, that is another chapter we can say. Then theory of friction, types of friction, static, kinematic friction, angle of friction, limiting friction, laws of friction, coefficient of friction, angle of repose, and last one will be ladder and wedge friction. Now your question will be, why sir is just reading this, we can read it, right? So let's go through it. Once I read it, it may go through your head and you will remember. Then in module 2, we are going to basically study centroid and moment of inertia and kinetics of rigid body. Okay. Now, what we have decided as per the scheme, what we are going to do is we have total 3 lecture. 2 online lecture will be conducted and 1 offline lecture. In 1 offline lecture also, it will be divided into 2 parts. That is 1 on Wednesday and 1 on Thursday. So Monday 3 to 4 and Thursday 3 to 4 will be the online lecture of BME. Okay. What? When? Monday and Thursday. And offline lecture will be Tuesday and Wednesday as per your timetable in from 2 to 3. Okay. Now let's start with what will be your how we are going to start with. So as and when I will teach you, assignment will be given. Okay. And those assignment you need to submit in Teams. Directly you can submit in Teams. Also, my screen is visible to you all right now. Just yes, okay. Now we can have some quiz, okay? Then uh, test also, surprise test, and some simple competition also. Okay, so all those things we are going to do in PM. Now your question start from here. Your question start from here is your branch is econ, and what syllabus says what you have to learn? Basic of mechanical engineering. Okay, now these are like two sides of a hill, right? Now your aim will be, if I want to do all such things with computers or electronics, why I need to study mechanical, right? Your question will be genuine, legit, right? And that question we are going to first solve it that, and then we will go to the syllabus. Now, in your mind, question is why we are going to study. Now just imagine you are a electronics engineer, okay, and you want to use circuit board, okay, and in those circuits board you have some rotating element or some transition or linear motion is there. Okay, now you want to know how many times that element can rotate or translate about that circuit board. Now you know how to use circuit board as an electronics engineer. You know how to use software as a computer engineer, but once you attach that element to that as a manufacturing, during manufacturing, you don't know when it will get eroded or it will disqualify for the proper operation. That you don't know, then your whole work will be of zero use, right? Second, we'll see one by one. Okay, that is all about electronics. Now, second thing is about your imagination. As we know, the song as your imagination, that's your creation, right? So this engineering mechanics will create imagination part and develop engineering, what you can say, aptitude in your brain. How you will understand it? If you don't know such thing, then it won't be useful to work in any industry where some forces will be there or some friction comes in picture or some heat transfer is there, right? Now, like you are as a computer engineer, just A4, A14 bionic chip, iconic chip you can say. So if chip you attach to the board, okay, motherboard, and if you don't know how much heat it will dissipate, so how much heat it will dissipate, if you don't know, then your motherboard will get burned, right? And as per your knowledge, you have done everything perfect, but you don't know thermodynamics behind it, right? So, what is the use of it? Again, I'll say zero. You know everything, but the small part of that is important. And if you don't know that, then what is the use of that? Again, you are in production department of manufacturing of some component, right? Now you don't know which process is used to get the final product. Then no one will give you a job. Maybe you are in software industry, maybe you are in hardware industry. Then for that you need to learn what is mean by manufacturing, right? So all those things we are going to learn through BME. Okay, so now you got your question that why why this your branch is different, but you are going to study mechanical engineering. Even mechanical engineering going to study BEE, basic of electrical, right? So they are going to learn programming, right? So earlier in earlier age, what we say, then it is a scientist or we can say physicians who always know all things like ecom or computer, electronics, mechanical, all basic things they know. But as era change, as the field, what you can say, growth of the field, every field becomes very complex and they need a specific engineer. That's why whole engineering is divided into different branches, right? And that one of the branch you selected as what you can say a combination of hardware and software, that is ecom. Now now you got the question and answer of why you are going to study this subject. Okay, now let's see. I feel basic of mechanical engineering will be everywhere in your life, from raising your pen, okay, from raising your pen to keeping your mobile in a stand or in your hand, from that to eating your food or throwing a ball or playing a cricket or doing anything, everything in your life, even turning from one side to other side also need a basic mechanical engineering. Why? Because forces are everywhere. And those forces, if you know, then and only then you can interact in real world. As an engineer, you need to know how to get into it, right? So before going for application, from where we started as your student of 12th standard science, so we started with science, right? So what is science? So what is mean by science? It is like a knowledge about structure, behavior of natural and physical world based on the facts that one can prove. That means what is science you study is based on what physical world, right? From that science, we selected one subject called as a what physics. So what is physics then? It is a sub branch of science which studies the property of matter and energy. So what are the matter? What is mean by matter? What are the properties of matter? All those things we study in physics. And again, this physics is divided into another subclass that is called as a mechanics. Okay, so what? It is a branch of physics which deal with study of effect of force system acting on a particular or a rigid body which may be rest or in motion. Okay, so what? We started with science, then we entered into physics, then from physics we come to our topic, that is mechanics. So what is mechanics we are going to study is we are going to study effect of forces on particle or rigid body. Okay. Now for you, for BME, I have prepared module wise notes from first to fourth with different variety of numericals. So I can say vast number of numericals. So those notes I will give you as when we complete the module. Side by side, when we teach online, you need to note down notes, whatever I am going to tell you. In class also, numericals and notes. Now, if you ask me, it's like, no, I am not what you can say, exaggerating myself, but I will say these notes are very good and it will be useful. If you go to GC also, you can find my notes. My name will be there somewhere in corner, Prasad Pawar. Your friends will be in GC or DBC or any college in Goa. Those notes will be there for sure. My notes plus Sanket Prabhu Desai. This was our what you can say professor who was speaking here. So out of these two, one will be damn sure will be there in the hands of student. I can challenge that. Okay, and those notes will be provided you as and when we complete the syllabus. Okay, now first two modules, first and second, I will take, and third and fourth module will be taken by another professor expertise in manufacturing and thermodynamics. Okay, so first we'll complete first and second module, and then we'll go to the third and fourth module that will be taken by another professor. Okay, that is all about syllabus. Then what I told earlier is we started with science, then we entered into physics, then we enter into mechanics. Now, again, in mechanics also, we can say sub-branch as engineering mechanics. Now, in engineering mechanics, it is like a basic subject for engineering student, irrespective of branches, as it develops the thinking and imaginative skill of student. What it develops? It develops thinking and skill. Okay. And when you go for project or product development, it will be sure short help you in doing such. Okay. Now, what are the application of this? Let's see. As I told you, from as in a movie Three Idiot, Amir Khan define it already, from your chain to nip of pen or zip to keep, right? Everywhere, whatever you use is mechanics, right? So Amir Khan already define it. We now also define. No one is going to ask you in exam that what is the definition of engineering mechanics, but you should know it. So let's start with what will be the industry based application. So I'll start with first is one will be automobile or automotive. Now your question will divide this automobile, you take it in first place because as a electronics and computer engineer, now you know what is a trend in automobile. Trend is EV. So for EV, I will say 50% will be mech and 50% will be electronics engineer required to maintain the battery, to maintain the make the circuit board, to have a capacitor, to have a resistor, all those things you need it. Okay, with the help of mechanical engineering. That's why I have given the application in first place as automobile. Then next one will be again aircraft or aviation industry. Okay, now from your landing gear to your sensor or each and every part, electronics engineers are must. Okay, with again mechanical engineering. Here I will say again 40% to 60%. Next, electric motors. That will be your whole and soul. You will be the. So if you want to study this, you need to study engineering mechanics. I will say 90% is your specialty. See, then important thing is robotics. Here also you will come in picture, and you are the most important or pure. You will play pure role or vital role in robotics. Then satellite. Without you, without electronics and computer engineer, this satellite won't work. Even mechanical engineer, if it manufacture also, it needs proper guidance, proper orbit, everything that will be done by you people. Then railways, bridges, dams, etc. Missiles, rockets, radar communication. Everywhere if you go, you need basic, I will say basic of mechanical engineering in your field. These are your field, right? And everywhere you need, as a electronics and computer engineer, you will be required at each and every point in this field, right? So for all such and number of numerous of application, I will say you need to know what is mean by engineering mechanics, right? So let's go to the basic of engineering mechanics. Okay, so if I say, if I want to classify this engineering mechanics, as we studied or defined earlier, what is engineering mechanics? It is a study of forces acting on a particle or body, okay, and its effect, right? So this engineering mechanics can be classified into mechanics of deformable bodies. What is first? Mechanics of deformable body. I will define what is mean by deformable. Don't worry. Then mechanics of rigid body. Yes, sir. What to do to become electrical robotic engineer? You are already electronics and computer engineer, Bharat. So you are, what you can say, you are in that robotics. You will get a subject called artificial intelligence, machine learning, and robotics in your syllabus. Okay, so don't worry about that. So mechanics of, what we are doing is, uh, why I interrupted, I got a message from some student, one of the student. Okay, so for that I just left my skills and enter into the chart section. Okay, so engineering mechanics, if you say, we can classify into three parts: mechanics of deformable bodies, mechanics of rigid bodies, and mechanics of fluid. Okay, so in mechanics of engineering or engineering mechanics, we can classify in three types or three subclasses. First is a deformable body. That means you take any material which is deforming, that means changing its shape and size. Then if you apply a force, or if you want to do something, work on it, then it will change its shape. Okay, so whatever deformable bodies are there, if you want to study, okay, then that will come under mechanics of deformable bodies, right? So in your syllabus, mechanism of deformable bodies is not there. Because this will be the, what you can say, more core to the mechanical engineer. You want a basics, so we are not going into the mechanics of deformable body. Next, I will go to the third, mechanics of fluid. Okay, here also you are not going to study any fluid or anything in this chapter or in this subject. So This is like a core subject to mechanical engineer. So this is also you are not going to study. So now what you are going to study in this chapter? So you are going to study mechanics of rigid body. What is mean by rigid body? So I will tell you, it's very simple. Rigid body is the body which consists of large number of particles, okay, and its shape and size does not change, or its particle does not change its position whatsoever force is applied. Means I will explain that during class with proper, what you can say, example. So don't worry about that. Be there tomorrow. I'll explain this. But today we are going to just classify this basic. Okay. So what we are going to study in mechanics of rigid body is, again, it is divided into two parts. Okay. So deformable we are not going to study. Fluid also we are going to study. So only matter is a solid. In that solid also, it should be rigid. That means it should not change its shape, size, dimension anyhow at any cost. Okay. Now again, this subclassify into two parts. One is a statics, and other one is a dynamics. Again, in dynamics also, it is subclassified into kinematics and kinetics. Okay. Now you will be like, why sir is continuing this classification? This general classification, we will going to study each and everything. Okay. Now, if you want to study a force system, if I want to study a force system, what is mean by force? I will explain. I will define again for you that you already studied in 11th and 12th standard. Don't worry about it. We will start it from scratch. What is mean by force? How it is applied? What are properties? Okay. So when we study engineering mechanics, mechanics of rigid body, first comes is a statics. Static. When we say static, what is mean by static? It is, I'll write static. So what we are going to study in statics, that it is a branch of engineering mechanics. It is a branch of engineering mechanics which studies effect of forces on a body. It is branch of engineering mechanics which